What's up, everybody? Woo. What's up, everybody? I'm so happy to be back here. I'm truly excited and I'm very grateful to be back here. My name is Kojo Sarfo, and this is Late Night Show with Dr. Kojo. I'm streaming live from what was a pretty sunny day here in Los Angeles, California. And I'm excited to be here. It's been about a month and a half since I've been on the live stream. I know I'm late today. I'm working on that. But I'm just happy to be here. I'm truly excited to be back. Obviously, as you can see, environment's a bit different because I've moved. And on top of that, I've been having to take care of like all these small errands and the DMV, all that boring stuff. But we're back on the live stream. I'm excited to get going. We're going to be talking about 4 things that happen when you have low self-esteem. Hopefully, y'all learn something. Hopefully, y'all laugh, and hopefully, we have a good time. So that's the goal. So as we start off every day, Rusty, thank you for asking. I appreciate you. I'm doing really good today. How are you doing? As we start off, we have to start off the way that we like to kick things off out here. So start off by letting me know what your name is if it's not already in your Facebook thingy. Let me know your name and let me know where you were streaming from. All right, so we can get it popping. Rome, how you doing? How you doing? Like I said, I'm streaming live from. So those of you who are new here, I'm not sure how it goes. Kojo, Los Angeles, CA. Kobe just found it. It was harder than it had to be. All right, Kobe, how hard was it? Was the hard part getting on Facebook or finding my profile, or let me know, so that way I know. Stacy from Massachusetts. Stacy, welcome to the live stream. Welcome. And Nia from Colorado Springs. Nia, welcome to the live stream. Jody, what's up? How are you doing? Yeah, I'm not sure why it was kind of difficult, but I don't know. And even my moderators, let them know that we are on the live stream. Sometimes they don't let people know when there's like when the stream starts. You're supposed to get a notification that says Kodo Sarfo just went live, boom, 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 so on and so forth. But I'll take that up with Facebook. Nikki from Alabama, what's going on, Nikki? Welcome to the live stream. Olivia, okay, I didn't know because the name said Rusty, but Olivia, welcome to the live stream. Kendra, welcome to the live stream. Kendra also is one of the moderators here, and she just recently had a baby. So please drop the clapping hand emojis for Kendra. Checking in from Pennsylvania. Martha from Massachusetts. We got Candace from Savannah, Georgia. Rebecca from Kentucky, a fellow therapist. Rebecca, thank you for being here. I really appreciate you being here. It's nice to see therapists on the internet, Heather, what's up? Emily from Iowa. Emily, what's going on? Let them know. Okay, awesome. Shayna says, Ohio live stream just popped up on Facebook, and I said, cool, and clicked. Shayna, thank you for joining. So hopefully this thing brings you some type of value, and hopefully you stick around. Brooke, it has been a minute. Hello from Arkansas. You're tripping me. It's pretty hard for me to pronounce that. Arkansas. But yes, congratulations on the baby, Kendra. That's super exciting. That's fantastic. I hope you got your gift that I sent. Are y'all able to hear? Because I should be audible. Anytime, Kendra. Olivia from Michigan, Tracy from Virginia, Dan from Wisconsin, Sarah from Philippines. This is the way it was broken. I was like Sarah, Logan from Dallas, Alan from Philippines. I had to go over the 3-line thing and go to your lives and type your name. Kobe, that's weird. Mickey Ficky. I'll bring that up to my people once again because my lives just aren't going to people. I don't know why. But I will send this to my publicist. Can we send this to? All right. To fix this. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's going out. We'll fix it though. All right. So if you hear me, you can hear me. Emily, what? All right. So Heather, that's probably on your end. I'm not sure why. But let me see. I received a notification. Rob, I'm on stream, Rob. Emily says, I also have to type your name to find you live. All right, I appreciate that because we're doing some troubleshooting apparently. Make it Ficky. I don't know why, but I'm letting the team know and they will take care of this. Greta from Washington, Christine from Georgia. All right, okay, so everybody can hear. We can get into it. All right, y'all. So there's a couple of new people here. Let me introduce myself, and plus it's been a while, 6 weeks. But yeah, my name is Kojo Sarvo. I'm a psychotherapist and a doctorally prepared mental health nurse practitioner. So that's the professional side. And before doing social media, I was working in Virginia, in Southern Virginia. I did about a year and a half of forensic psychiatry. It was my first big boy job out of school. I learned a lot there, and then I started posting on TikTok, and things kind of took off, so on and so forth. And after I was done with forensic psychiatry. I wasn't done with it. I love the job and I love my patients, but I decided to move to California and open up an entertainment company and take social media to the next level. We're making short films, we're making skits, we're posting relatable content to help educate you all about mental health and to make it fun and relatable. So that's what I'm doing. And these live streams are something that we do Tuesday and Thursday every week. And we also have a morning show on Monday. And now that I'm like settled in, like I have it books, like I feel organized. So I'm ready to get back. I'm ready to get back to it. So that's really good. And chances, I do follow you, so it's not completely random, but I didn't go searching for you. You pop up as being live. All right, so Shayna, it looks like some people get it. That's helpful. That's helpful, Vicky Picky. All right, so let me get into the four things that happen when you have low self-esteem. So the reason for this topic tonight, before I put the first thing in here, the reason for this live stream tonight is because I don't think people realize how important self-esteem is. I was talking to a friend of mine today at the gym, and we're just talking about confidence and things of that nature. And I told him a quick story, but we really spoke for like a good hour and a half. But I told him a quick story about this girl that I liked, right? And I was seeing this girl or whatever. I thought she was amazing, but I ended up like letting things go. Like I told her, I said, "Hey, we cannot progress any further because certain things that are happening right now, like it's just I don't feel respected, and I'm not able to proceed in this relationship." And it was like small things here and there, but I was telling him that if I didn't speak up for myself, it's like I'm betraying myself. When you betray yourself, your confidence just drops lower and lower and lower. And when your confidence is not where it should be, where it used to be, these are the things that can happen. And based off of the things that I'm going to list today, these four things, that should kind of be more reason for you to do your best to keep your confidence high. Use positive self-talk. Don't believe the negative thoughts that cross your head. Hang around people who support you, people who want to see you win, people who keep you accountable. All that stuff is very, very, very important. But when your confidence is not where it needs to be, these are the things that can happen, right? So number one, prone to gaslighting and emotional abuse, right? So if y'all been keeping up with the skits that I post here on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, pretty much everywhere, TikTok as well for the OGs, you'll see these skits where, it'll be me and Lay, right? And we'll be, role playing the situations, right? I think the most recent one that people liked was, I'm playing the guy, the toxic guy, and she's trying to leave. And I'm like, oh, you have to ask for permission. It's like you're shaming your woman for wanting to leave the house. And, when people are in relationships like that, it almost feels like as a woman, or maybe if you're the guy in the situation, or regardless of sex, but if you're the person who is, going through the issue, if you're the person who's being gaslit, right? If that's the word, past tense, you're going to be, walking on eggshells. You're like, oh, I guess I have to do this for this person. Like you're neglecting yourself over and over. And the thing about being in a situation where you're being gaslit or there's emotional abuse there, you don't really realize what's going on until you sometimes leave the relationship, right? Sometimes you don't know that you're in a toxic relationship. Heather, no worries. It's all good. It's all good. I've done way worse things due to ADHD where I'm like, whatever's going on. But when you're in a toxic relationship, sometimes you don't know until it's over, right? So sometimes you might break up with this person or they break up with you or it ends. And all of a sudden people are clapping and people are happy. And you're like, I'm sad. Like, why are people happy? Because they probably saw it before you saw it, right? But sometimes we play this game where we want to convince people to love us. And you're like, nah, I'm not going to lose you in my life at all costs, right? Which is not the healthiest thing to do, and it's hard to set those boundaries with family, right? So when your confidence is low, you're in no position to negotiate. You'll pretty much take the best that you can get for the time being. So that's why it's very important to keep that confidence up. You gotta celebrate the small wins. You have to celebrate the small wins. I missed a comment up top. Bressa said every night after I went to sleep, I get paranoid. I don't know what to do. and my stomach extends too. All right, so Russell, in terms of these comments, I would say to find like professional help in your area because there's only so much. Or Olivia, I'm sorry, I know the name's Olivia. There's only so much that we can do from the internet, right? Like I can't, read this comment and say select, like I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you that finding professional help is the way to go. But also feeling good about yourself is very important, right? If you're going through all these things, that's a human experience. We all go through these things, but I do want you to feel good about yourself as you're trying to come up, right? As you're trying to come up. Rebecca says trauma response. I agree. Uh, in terms of the gaslighting that we were talking about earlier. And Holloway says, Dr. Coda, you've inspired myself and my partner to go to couples therapy. And y'all can just say Coda, by the way, because, we're friends out here. 6 weeks in for weekly therapy to learn to properly communicate. So this deserves the first love of the show. And if you're not familiar with this show, the love of the show is something that we do to congratulate people who have taken an extraordinary step. And this might be a small thing, but it's still extraordinary. So this deserves a love of the show right here. That's what's up. I tell people all the time, like I'm not a fan of like, oh, I'm having issues with my person. We're gonna call it. I'm not a fan of that, right? As long as you want to make the thing work, right? There's nothing wrong with taking the next steps necessary to try and make this thing work. So if that's therapy, that's fine, right? If that's reaching out, maybe you're religious, you want to go to a pastor or somebody first. But whenever you take the steps to try and keep something alive, especially when it's therapy, you're never gonna get love of the show. You got to get love of the show. Sufi is checking in from Eugene, Oregon. What's going on? What's going on? Kelsey, I appreciate you. Educated, emotionally intelligent, for the most part. Speaking out about these issues. Kelsey, the fact that I'm able to help, it means a lot to me. Thank you. So you say thank you. I'm saying thank you for your thank you and for your attention. So I really appreciate you. Rome, yeah, being gaslit ruins your confidence, because sometimes like you don't know if you're moving left or right, and you're like, I don't know what to do. And like, and when you're in that position, you're in no shape or form able to. You might be able to, but you're not in the best position to advocate for yourself. It's really difficult. Really difficult. Let me see. Especially when he's deep in ADHD behaviors. Yeah, and the therapy will help with that. Love of the show. Love of the show. Love of the show. PTSD, ADHD, OCD, and something myself to survive it. All right, so and one thing I do with this show is I have my 4 things that I'm going to talk about, right? That happen when you have low self-esteem. But sometimes every show I say sometimes every show, I divert, I go all over the place because my brain takes me here and I come back on topic. But Kelsey, in this situation, the PTSD, ADHD, OCD, anxiety and depression, panic disorder, it's not like one thing that I wish I could help people is not the mental health condition. Sometimes just toss that to the side. That affects you in different ways, but it's more so it's a Kelsey thing. What does Kelsey need? Sometimes that might not even be. Sometimes Kelsey, you might just need a hug, straight up, a hug. And after the hug, you'll still have these 4 or 5 conditions, right? But sometimes connection, community, people cheering you on. That stuff is very, very helpful, right? But mental health conditions, regardless of what it is, but all of this right here is going to make life difficult. I mean, you know that. But that mindset and the people around you can be very, very instrumental. Like life is not meant for us to do it all on our own, Brooke says that you're not want to do that anymore, and then you make a stance and set boundaries. You can come across as mean and harsh. My family is used to treating you however, and you're used to accepting whatever. Brooke, that's true. That's true. And family is probably it's the hardest to enforce boundaries with family because when you enforce boundaries with somebody, you're telling yourself or the person, hey, there's a chance that I might lose you in my life, and that's okay. Like I'm all right with that. I don't want it to happen, but I mean, if it happens, I'm all right with that, right? So this is where I struggle too, and this year has been a lesson in boundaries for me, so I'm learning. Daisy, once I will say this about borderline. You may have missed it before in a previous live stream, but I always feel like it's a good idea for anybody who has borderline personality disorder, actually just for anybody in general, now that I think about it. But it could be a good idea, especially with people who have borderline. What I've seen work in the past is when you're friends with somebody else who has a good relationship with themselves, you can kind of mirror that activity. Oh, somebody who respects themselves, this is what they do. Oh, okay, all right, cool. Somebody who respects themselves, they'll walk away from a situation that is very appealing if it doesn't serve their needs. You know, that's like if you're playing a video game, like that's like one of the final boss levels of, all right, I really worked on self-respect. Like we're killing it right now, you know? And let me see. I just right, Kobe, exactly. Understanding is what you need, right? Especially, let's say you're talking about schizoaffective disorder, bipolar type, ADHD, generalized anxiety. I don't count, Kobe, unfortunately, because I know what all this stuff is, right? So, like to me, I'm like, oh, schizoaffective, bipolar type, all right, cool. This is what they go through, this is what they need, ADHD, cool, generalized anxiety. Like for me, I'm like, oh, like I get this, Kobe. The average person, like schizo, like what's schizo, so the understanding and feeling like you're not some weird person is very helpful. And sorry for loss. What happened? I think I missed that. Oh my God, Jen, very sorry to hear that. Very sorry to hear that. And everybody here, in this community, not just the 49 people watching, or the 50 people watching, it's almost 800,000 people on this Facebook platform, a couple million more outside of Facebook. But anybody who follows me is a part of this community, and we all have your back. But that's very devastating. It's very, very devastating. And sure. Just replying back to my publisher. Okay, cool. E. All right. And the second thing, when you have low self-esteem right here, in my opinion, right here, it won't click. I like, is that clicking? Biggie, is that clicking? All right. Ask this question again at the end of the show, please. Just don't forget. It makes it harder to connect, with people when your self-esteem is low, because the way you carry yourself is in a non-inviting way, and you don't really realize this. And you see this a lot with people who are depressed, where sometimes you can, like if you're talking to a psychiatrist or a provider, during a psych eval, they're asking you all these questions, right? But we're also watching you. We're watching how you are, your affect, how you move, your posture. Sometimes when you're depressed or your self-esteem is kind of low, you see this type of thing, right? Like, and you don't know that you're doing it. You're just kind of like you're like, that's just kind of how it is, right? Well, like Brenda is saying, virtual hugs. Sometimes you just need a hug, but when your self-esteem is low, it's gonna be difficult to connect with people, And for example, I'll give you like this example, right? Let's say I'm walking, I'm trying to make friends, right? I'm trying to make friends, but my self-esteem is low, and I kind of carry myself like this, right? If I'm walking like this, it's not pretty inviting, right? Now if I'm walking around smiling like this, it's a little bit creepy. But this is the way you move when you're, depressed or your self-esteem is not where it needs to be. That pacing, it's gonna make it hard for you to connect with people, But the interesting thing about this, when I came up with this list, is when your self-esteem is low, if you're able to find just one good person, just one person, and talk to them, if you are able to connect with somebody, that can be very helpful in getting you back on track. Because you just have to know that, like, you're not the only one going through it, right? But in your world, it really is like the worst thing in the world, right? And that has to be respected, right? So when you're going through it, that's like the time that you tend to want to isolate the most. But that's really the time that you really need community, you need support, right? But it could be difficult to connect, whether you isolate yourself or whatever is going on. It can be really difficult to connect. So just keep that in mind and understand that one friend, even if they're an online friend, I'm trying to keep up with the comments here to the right side or my left side. Sides are tripping me up. But just one friend can be very helpful. You might live in Nebraska, and then you meet somebody, an online friend from Houston you never met before, but them talking to you, going back and forth, messaging, that can give you a lot of validation. Especially in this world where, this post-pandemic, if we're out of it officially, I'm not sure. But in this world where it's a bit harder to connect with people, um, and and let me mention this real quick when it comes to like relapsing. You can call it like a small L, right? In life, you win and you lose. So when you have once again, community is so important. We have a community that makes it okay for you to not saying that we want you to relapse, but somebody or some people who don't shame you for when you go through struggles. That's very helpful, because when it comes to mental health, it's like while you're in it, it's hard to get that empathy. People are like, oh my gosh, this person's relapsing again, and no, they're gonna cause this effect. Everybody's worried about how things affect them. But then when you talk about something in past tense where you're like, oh yeah, like I realized, but I'm back on track, people are like, oh, congrats. But when you're actually in the middle of the thing, then it's like, damn, this is why I need people. But then that's when it's kind of hard to find those people, because you're actively in the middle of it, right? So having people who support you unconditionally, or just one person, or an online community, anything helps, and 0, right? So 0.5, 1, 2, it beats 0, if that makes sense. All right. And Holly says, so true. Slum shoulder, sad, exhausted energy, muffled, mumbling voice. So you're saying that have the courage and have at least one trusted confidant. Yeah. One friend, like, it sounds so weird to say, but if you have like one good friend in this world, now, a couple of friends, maybe better than one, but if you have one good friend that you can confide in without judgment, you're in the minority, because a lot of people don't have that. That's why I'm coming to find out right now. That's why I'm coming to find out. My grandma always says, "You are who you hang with." I started to feel really down, and I realized it was directly related to the person I was hanging out with. Yeah, and sometimes for me, I'm at the point where I didn't want to lose people, but now I'm like, I'd rather just figure out what's going on now, and I'm okay with losing people as long as I don't lose myself. It's kind of deep. Now think about it. I don't know if I can be friends with someone who is neurodivergent. Gonna have to sing a song. I don't know. Deep. Well, Brooke, it's hard to look at somebody and be like, yeah, that person's ADHD or autistic or whatever the case may be. But I will say, when people are neurodivergent, it's a little bit less to explain, and you know what I'm talking about. Emily, you got to keep going. You got to keep going for all of us here. You got to keep going. And unconditional love means unconditional. So that means that whether you win the Nobel Peace Prize, we love you. You relapse, we still love you. And then when you realize that whatever you do is not tied to how people, feel about you, like the people that really care, that'll give you that safe space to be like, all right, I effed up. I'm gonna do better tomorrow. I effed up. I'm gonna do better tomorrow. All right, and I'll read a couple more comments. Let me click the third one in real quick. So with low self-esteem, I do believe it's harder to bounce back from depression and anxiety. Right? We spoke a little bit about depression earlier with the shoulders that are slumped over, the bad posture, the low energy. And let's say you're in a depressive episode, right? And you don't feel that good about yourself. It's going to be a bit harder, right? And what this is going to do is going to make it harder for you to count the small wins, right? So, for example, like right now, I'm trying to make it relatable. Like right now, I'm back on the live stream, so now I'm happy, right? But I tried to get on last week, and I was behind. I'm like, all right, I'm behind. And the things that make me behind are small things, like this. Aaron, here, do that. Small things that you forget. But when too many small things pile up, you're like, damn, like I'm really not getting these things together, right? So you have to have empathy for yourself. And what I do, it works really helpful, is really helpful, works well for me, is if I'm behind on something, I'm like, all right, at the end of the day, let me find one thing that I'm proud of. And every single day, I've always found something that I'm proud of, So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Harder to bounce back from depression / anxiety. I thought I misspelled anxiety. And then the fourth one, something about self-isolation. And I'm going to touch base on that real quick. And before, prone to isolation, helplessness, and hopelessness. And interestingly enough, the helplessness and hopelessness are things that you see a lot in depression. So you kind of see where this is going, right? But if your self-esteem is low, right, then all these things are things that can happen to you. And when you're in this position, you're not in the best possible state to advocate for yourself. And let me also drop in the basics. But if you've been watching the live stream before, you know what the basics are. But let me drop the basics in here. Number one, getting enough sleep. And I'm typing this out so y'all have it. And all these live streams are going to stay on my platform for forever. The only way I'll delete one is if I bring on a guest and they don't feel comfortable with me keeping it up, and then I'll gladly take off the live stream. But outside of that, the live stream will always it'll be there forever. So if you have to like leave or whatever, like this thing will be here, and you can learn about the basics and everything. Leilani, what's going on? How are you doing? And Kendra, yeah, like you just had a baby. And now that I'm Dr. Kojo, I think to myself, whenever people have had babies, I'm like, let me check on the actual person. Because I'm always like, oh, let me see these baby pictures. I'm like, oh, the baby got your nose. But I forget to check on the actual person. The baby still needs the help, yes, but like check on the actual parents. It's difficult going from 1 to 2, going from 2 to 3. I don't know at which point it becomes easier to have kids, but each kid is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And Shannon, I'm happy that you caught this live. I'm happy to be back. But all right, the mental basics. Number one is getting enough sleep, right? Number two is eating good foods. All right, I'm not gonna say good because it's different for everybody. And then number three is having people around you who support you and keep you accountable. That's community right there, community. And then number four, the fourth one is getting exercise. Even a little helps. Yeah, nutritious foods, but the way I phrase it is people have all these different diets or whatever, but just be mindful of what you put in your body. I'm trying to simplify it down. All right, so here are the mental health basics. I wonder why on YouTube, like it split my comments. Okay, all right, either way. All right, so here are the basics, right? So getting enough sleep, eating foods that are good for you, having people around you who support you and keep you accountable, community, and getting exercise, even if a little bit helps, right? So these are the four basics. So this is what I do in my actual life. Like whenever I'm going through a hard time, I really do sit down and ask myself, I'm like, all right, am I doing all four of these things? Sleeping enough, eating good food, having people who support you, keep accountable, getting exercise. And normally, if something is going wrong in my life, there's a good chance that I'm not doing one of these things. And 85% of the time, it's number one. I'm not getting enough sleep, but this is something I'm mindful of, whether it's ADHD or whatever. I know that, okay, all right, sometimes the insomnia is going to get to me. So I structure my nights in a way that I'm like, all right, let me make sure I get sleep so that way tomorrow morning I'm not irritable and my decision making is on, right? So if you're not doing these four things decently, I wouldn't even get into a relationship. I tell people all the time, like, you do the work before so that way you can avoid the work that will come when you hop into a situation and you're not really where you want to be. All right. Olivia, me too. I don't get enough. It's gotten better now, much better. But sleep, you can't cheat the body. I've tried. I'm telling you, I've tried. It didn't work. It didn't work. And Kobe, it depends on how old you are. Babies and older people. It just depends. But I think a good number to aim for, at least for me, like 7.5 to 8. That's what I do my best to aim for. We outside. My son was playing with our neighbor's daughter. We got inside chill for a minute. Family time. We started reading for a half hour before bed. It's made a world of difference. And my kids sleep. Oh wow. Okay. I'm not gonna try that, but I'm not gonna be reading off my phone because if I read off my phone, I'm gonna get distracted and try to read something else. I'm gonna try to read something else. All right, so naps are good for the soul. Naps are good for Jody. I think napping is an art. I wish I could learn how to like nap like 45-minute, hour, power hour nap. Because whenever I get a great nap, I wake up like 4 hours later and I'm like, I wake up to missed calls. I'm like, dang, I'm not napping correctly. It's a great idea. I appreciate that, Brett. All right, and all right. So those are four things. All right, we are at the 30-minute mark, which means that it's time for the water break. And after that, let's do a random Q&A for 5 minutes, just so I can connect with y'all, because it's been a while since I've been on live stream. So all right, at the 30-minute mark, we take a pause and we do the water break. So the water break is where a lot of us in this community, many of us who are neurodivergent, we forget to drink water sometimes. It's such a basic thing, but we forget to drink water sometimes. So the water break allows us to drink some water. It always happens at the 30-minute mark. And before we can do the water break, we need the magic word to be dropped in the chat. And the magic word has been dropped in the chat. So it's time to get the water break in. Cheers. Cheers is the magic word. Cheers. Felt good. So I was clearly underhydrated, as you can see. If I could drink this whole thing that fast, I was trying to chug it. I was just dehydrated. I wish I could make an hour. I do have to run soon. Okay, I'll get. Yeah, I do have to run soon. But one thing I like to do is I like to surprise people versus disappointing. And I was gonna hop on the live stream earlier today, and I got caught up. But I was like, oh, I want to do like a bonus show than the late night show. But with my structure being more ingrained, it will allow me to and even get back to gaming with Dr. Kojo. Like I was looking at my shirt, I'm like, hold on, I want to game with Dr. Kojo. You know, Olivia, very sorry to hear that. I feel called out, even as a therapist. I don't do any of those. Dana, which ones? The four basics, the sleep, food, having. So actually, let me go back to that real quick. Who said Dana? Right. So Dana, there's no need to feel embarrassed because when I was working back in Virginia, working job I loved, doing forensic psychiatry and feeling like I'm finally helping the world, it was really hard for me to be, and I'm being honest, it was really hard to get enough sleep. I'm just being honest. Sometimes I would take my work home and then, because I would spend time with the patients, right? Like I would rather, go shoot hoops in the back or play PlayStation at the that would help my patients respect me more. And then when it's time for me to be like, all right, I know you hate Zyprexa, it makes you put on weight, but let's try it for a little bit. If it doesn't work, we'll switch to something else. When it was time to actually do the job, my patients actually respected me and believed me. So sometimes I would take work home and my time management wasn't the best. So I wasn't getting enough sleep. I definitely wasn't eating good food. I didn't have a dietitian back then. So I was just eating junk and I'm like, oh, my metabolism is high. I want to get enough sleep. I want to eating good food. Having people who support you, keep you accountable. I didn't even have the best community. I didn't have a lot of friends because I left Georgia and I went to this small city in Virginia to work. So outside of, my brothers who would come in town and an ex-girlfriend who would come in town, I didn't really have a big community. And even number 4 was the part that I did the best, because I would hit the gym every now and then, but I go 2-3 times a week. And now that I'm in California and I can kind of control my schedule a bit more, I'm making an intentional effort to do all of these things. But, as therapists, sometimes we have this ability to help people out while neglecting ourselves. And I know I'm just speaking from personal experience. I know. So, I'm just trying to do better. The first person to my brain makes sense. Elizabeth, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm trying to get more in touch with my emotions. Every now and then you'll see something that really, It makes you feel something. And this comment means a lot to me, Elizabeth. It really means a lot to me. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Trying to get in touch with my emotions. I appreciate you. I feel it right here. I feel it right here. I appreciate that. Rebecca, therapist burnout is real. It's very real. I tell people all the time. People don't understand. Like people never see things from the therapist perspective, and people are like, "Oh, like why'd you leave your job?" Like people are like, "You making all this money?" I'm like, "It's not about. Well, it is about the money, but I'm like, you have to be happy, right? You have to do things that you enjoy doing." And even as I'm posting all this, like I enjoy this. Like I enjoy the live stream, so it's not hard for. It's never been hard to do a live stream, whether it's 39 people on here, or whether it's 93 people, whether it's 1,000, whether it's 5 people, 20. It's never hard to do the live stream. It's hard to get here on time to do the live stream, but it's never hard to do the live stream. And it's important for me to do things like that I legitimately enjoy doing. The live stream, making funny videos, stand up, whatever, playing basketball, playing my guitar in the corner, which I need to be playing because I'm paying for guitar lessons, right? But sometimes as a therapist, you just neglect everything, and you're like, oh, and we have a weird ability to be really good at our jobs when we aren't right ourselves. It's kind of scary when you think about it, but you just have to keep that in mind. Oh, yeah, yeah. I just came off the Thug Live before I came on here. You know, so yes, and I will say that one thing. Just random thoughts, especially for my people who have ADHD. Sometimes we have goals to be like, for example, real quick. Like I used to have a goal where I'd say I want to make 5 videos today or 4 videos today. I don't do that anymore because like you can hit a like a hyper focus mode where all of a sudden you're just productive, right? But you can't rely on that. Sometimes that comes, sometimes it goes, right? And then if it's not there, I'm like, all right, I don't have it today. So what I do now is I structure my day to where I'm like, all right, I have this much time to do this. I have that much time to do this. If I go over with this, time buffers very helpful. Overestimate how long things take. That's my problem. Because I say, oh, DMV just takes an hour and a half. You be stuck there for 3.5 hours, and the whole day is almost ruined. Because I'm like, now I'm behind on this. I'm behind on that. I'm behind on this. I'm behind on that. So putting some space there to get certain things done, game changer for me, really and truly, game changer for me. Crystal, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Every once in a while, I wake up from a nap and freak out because I miss a school bus. This is funny. This is funny. This is funny, Jody. I like this. I like this. I like this. Singing, but I can't create. Crystal, what do you mean by that? And let me see. Dana, how are you doing? I don't get anywhere on. Yeah, I don't get anywhere on time too. But like even the words that you say are very powerful. So like I had this my whole life where the running joke is, oh, Coder doesn't get to any place on time, right? And now I'm still not getting to anywhere on time, but I'll say, all right, okay. So I haven't been able to get here on time thus far, but I will be able to be on time moving forward. And then next week comes, and then more often than not, I show up late. But I'm like, all right, I show up late. I'm accountable. But next week, I plan on doing X, Y, and Z so I can get here a little bit earlier, right? And it does lower your. Speaking of self-esteem, it does lower your self-esteem when you say you're going to do something and you don't follow through on it. Then you're like, I can't rely on myself, So, and I've been very fortunate, especially like now having my schedule and filming or whatever, and even my old job, I've been very fortunate to not have like, that requirement where you gotta show up at 8 o'clock, you gotta show up at 9 o'clock, and even I just canceled that problem altogether when I was doing forensic psychiatry. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna show up an hour and a half early so I can learn the job, learn the patients. And because if I was trying to show up on time, I'll get there 30 minutes late. And then I'm embarrassed because like the patients are like, where's this guy at? So yeah, I add 45 minutes early to whatever event I needed. Ooh. I use 15 minutes, but I probably need to do 45. And I need to do 45. Not probably. I need to do 45. Because yeah, and it's funny, like my brother's here in town, and hopefully he'll stay. And his friends here, so now I have company at the house. And when it first came, I was like, all right, I have some accountability, so they're gonna help me get to places on time. And I'm still not getting places on time, but the 45-minute rule can change all of that, right? I like that. That's better than 15. I think that's much better than 15. Yeah, because yeah, yeah. So actually, thank you, Leilani. The more I think about that, I may have learned a new rule. You know, I may have learned a new rule because I always said 15 minutes, but that 15-minute grace period it doesn't do anything for me. I showed up to this live stream 12 minutes late. Uh, I've got a lot of mental diagnoses, but I'm working every day to be better. Not as good as I could. You're still trying though, but trying. Maybe I could be a miracle guest on your live someday. No, for sure. Heather, send an email to assistant at kojosarfa.com. I definitely want to have more guests on this. And even my plan for this show is to like make it bigger. Like I want to have like guests come on here, and after that, I want to have like some fun components. Maybe bring people on to tell jokes or perform music. Like I'm gonna take this show and make it much bigger. So right now, if you can come on as a guest, come on through. We keep the email assistant at kojosarfo.com to be a guest. And I will say this about being a guest, right? So some of y'all don't know how this works, but like this is not therapy. This is not therapy at all. This is not professional help. We're just here talking, and I just happen to know a thing or two about mental health. So like I'll talk with y'all, and we'll make it do what it do. But when we do a guest live and somebody comes on, if there's anything that's if anything is triggering for you, or if you don't worry about the people on there or anything, like we don't have to put on a show. If at any point you're like, I can't do this, like there's a whole formula or whatever, you could even type it to me so people don't see it or something like that. But I have no issue with taking down a live stream. If there's a guest on there and you don't like it, or you're like, I don't want to talk, we'll take it down. I don't ever take down my live streams, but if that's the case, we will take it down fast AF. We will take it down. So just know that, because these live streams are, they stay on the internet for forever, and there's potentially 3.5 million people in my community who could see this, and then if something goes viral, the whole world can see it. So just keep that in mind. I have to be, Leilani, I need that 45-minute rule. I need it. Kayla, I appreciate you. I intentionally, so I do this right now. My time is off in the car. I still get places late. Maybe I need to do a 45-minute adjustment. I might need to do that. Actually, Ray, because I'm low on time. So Ray, come back to Thursday's show. So the I laugh myself when I'm trying to find the word, and I'm like, what's the word? What's the moderators? For the moderators, can you all just remind me that Thursday's show is I have ADHD and I'm not medicated. What do I do? Or something along the lines of. We'll talk about that. We'll call it tips, so that way it's not medical advice. And this is the link for the Discord. You've helped me more than any professional I've tried. I have so many mental health issues in which videos I feel like I can get where I need in life, social anxiety. That means a lot. That means a lot. A lot of these comments, they really make me feel really, really good. I really appreciate that. I super appreciate that. I'm happy that the content is helpful. Because I sit there and obsess over, will this work, or is that even relatable? So to see that it crosses over and makes an impact is very helpful. Lucy, right? And my thing is, I don't even want to be like, I don't even look at myself as I know, yeah, doctor, yeah, but like, I just see myself as a Mickey Ficky. I'm just a regular guy, and I happen to go to school. I know a couple of things. We go from there. I'm a kid, and life is interesting for sure. Yeah, and also like on that stream, I have a lot of thoughts to say just from my own personal experience, and just talking to a couple of friends of mine who have told me, like, oh, I have ADHD, but I don't take meds. Boom, boom. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts for sure. Kobe, yes, Kobe, email me, and we will do this. Kobe, you're my guy. We will do this. I promise you, we will do this because, like I said, nobody's talking about schizoaffective disorder. So I'm like, oh, that makes me excited. So we will talk about it. I'll get, yeah, I've missed, not missed, but I've shown up late to red carpet events, just because I can't get there on time. And Shannon, all this stuff will be on the live stream. So, and Logan, I'm really happy that these live streams are helpful. I'm happy to be back. We're back. We're back. We're back. We're back. And one thing I'll say before I get off, because I do have to get off, is that especially for those of y'all who struggle with time management, it's good to have things that force you to commit in some capacity to something, right? So these live streams, I know Tuesday and Thursday. If I miss a Monday show, it happens sometimes. But Tuesday and Thursday night, I gotta be here doing this. So because I know that, I'm like, all right, I can't goof off at the gym and hang out and talk to my gym crush for 3 hours. I gotta hurry up, be timely. And when you move about your day in a way that you go from one thing to the next, boom, boom. Even if I show up here 7 minutes late, I'm happy. Oh, I checked off the box. I got to the live stream. So especially when we're struggling with routines and certain things, it's helpful to have something that's there that forces you to commit a little bit, right? And like I enjoy doing this, but it's like I gotta my time here, So it's a little bit of stress, but that helps you out because when you do get to that thing on time, then you're like, yes, I did it. I can do it, and I can do it in the future. And that's not even with the live stream. The live stream is whatever, but like for your actual life, your confidence raises up. You're like, all right, I can get here on time because I did it today. I did it last week. So now I feel confident that I will do this in the future. Job interview, whatever, I can get to these places on time. So if if you have ADHD, you really know what I'm talking about here. You really know what I'm talking about here because sometimes people who don't have it are like, oh, yeah, whatever, you'll get there on time. I'm like, no, it's a big deal for me to get to somewhere on time. It's a huge deal. Okay. All right. So all right, so I'm looking forward to Thursday's show. I'm looking for oh oh Leilani, so this right here is my life. I, this is my life. I have a comedy show on Thursday night. So how can I go live on Mickey Ficky? Oh my gosh. All right, so stay alive real quick. Let me handle this. I need to go to my Evernote. I use Evernote to track my schedule. Mickey Ficky. Mickey Ficky. Thursday's packed. All right, okay, all right. So this live stream we'll do it tomorrow night at 6 p.m. PST. Or actually, all right. So I'll let the moderators choose. Should we make this a morning show or a night show? Actually, everybody here, let's vote. Let's vote. Let me see my schedule. Wednesday. All right. So Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. So tomorrow morning, tomorrow night will work. All right. So ADHD, living with it, unmedicated, 12 medicated show. All right. So Wednesday AM and or Wednesday PM. All right, so everybody who's in the live stream right now, I'll let y'all choose. Man, Mickey Ficky. I was planning this for Thursday. I have so that's my life right there. I have a team of people who help me out with my schedule, but I still mess things up. That's my life right there. Oh my gosh. I have ADHD. As much I can relate. Yeah, like literally, my brain be all over the place. Mickey Ficky, Mickey Ficky. All right, so let me see. PM night, PM. All right, okay, all right. Evening. Okay, all right. Olivia, take care. Hope to see you tomorrow. All right, so tomorrow we'll do it. Tomorrow we'll do it, and my time is bad, but let me let my sister know. Uh, Mickey Ficky and Leilani, thank you for asking. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mickey Ficky is just it's another way of saying MF without cussing. So it's a very family friendly um thing. All right, let me see some real quick. Uh, hey, John. So for Thursday's show, on Facebook Live, I have the comedy show. So let's bump it to. I mean, let's bring it up a day to 6 p.m. PST uh, on Wednesday, which is tomorrow. And also, can you just send me next week's schedule and put the morning show and the two shows, Tuesday night and Thursday night, on there, so that I can see how it aligns with my schedule, just so we can block off those times. And if something is there, just let me know so I can address it ahead of time. I'm just trying to get organized and back on schedule. So I appreciate that. And can you also remind me to send the two books out for the guests that are going to be on the show soon? Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right. Mickey Figgy is officially stolen. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Mickey Figgy is the clean version of that. Um, yeah, or if you're doing the deed with somebody, it's like, okay, we did the Mickey Figgy. So yeah, I like I like the Mickey Figgy. All right, y'all. I'm seriously behind, so I gotta get going. We nearly made it to an hour. I was looking at the time. I'm like, hopefully we can make it to an hour. But all right, I gotta go. So I'll see you all tomorrow. We're gonna talk about life with ADHD unmedicated tomorrow. I'm excited for it. So tomorrow at 6 p.m. And then we'll be back on schedule next week. So see you all next time. I'm happy to be back on here. It's exciting. I love all y'all, and I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.